Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Prospect Central 101. My name is Chris, and today joining me we have
Keelan.
Daniel.
I guess I'm here too.
that's Braden. And today we're going to be taking a look at the projected number one overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft in Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback out of the University of Clemson, following in the footsteps of Deshaun Watson, who is now in Houston. So I know that you guys have all seen at least a little bit of Trevor Lawrence over the course of the last few seasons. Braden, we'll start with you. What have you seen from Trevor Lawrence, and what do you like about him that you've seen just from watching tape or watching Clemson games?
Yeah, I think that he's
okay.
pretty. So, I think he's pretty easily the best quarterback in the draft. I mean, he's got everything you could want. He's got arm strength. He's got ability to maneuver and manipulate the pocket. He's got extraordinary mobility. He's got accuracy. It's just the entire package is there. The one thing I think he does kind of iffy is that his decision making can be a little bit on the riskier side, but outside of that, I see no reason why he shouldn't be the number one quarterback.
Bring me next.
I mean, the only thing I'd really disagree is I don't have a problem with his decision making. Because when you're as good as he is, you can get most of that is just him saying, "I'm so much better than anyone here. I can do any. I'm going to make that throw," and most of the time it works.
Yeah.
So no, I don't have a problem. I don't think it'll be a long-term problem. He's just so much better than anybody. He faces that. He just tries it because he simply can. And
To be clear, just to be clear, I wouldn't call it a problem. It's more of a potential concern.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, I'm not concerned by it.
Okay.
Keelan, you next.
Well, basically, the decision making isn't really a problem to me. Like Braden said, I mean, he's better than everybody else, so he does it. He's a phenomenal player, and he tends to kind of well, from what I watched last year, he was I don't know what the proper word was, but under pressure, he was rather kind of inaccurate under pressure last year. So that's the main thing I have on him.
Interesting. Alrighty. So we're gonna start out with the Wake Forest game from this season. I don't know exactly what weeks are which. I've kind of lost track of the week-to-week schedule this year. But I don't really think it matters. We'll kind of be watching them all out of order anyway.
Yeah.
Lawrence, of course, number 16. As of now, well, I guess I wait for this to load. Currently the New York Jets hold the number one overall pick, led by a front office of Joe Douglas, who personally I think is Personally, I think is unlikely to be fired. So there's a pretty good chance that he ends up being picked by a Joe Douglas front office in April or May. Okay, would like to see him get rid of the ball a little bit quicker there. General note, even if it's just throwing it away. Okay, nice throw. Love the placement as well on this. Obviously, this corner is going to have this backside covered. So want to see Lawrence lead that receiver, particularly upfield, which he does very, very nicely. It's really well done. Okay, nice velocity on the screen pass. Okay, nice. Get to see a little bit of mobility there as well. Definitely not your pure Peyton Manning-esque, Tom Brady-esque, but pure pocket passer. I like this. This is really nice play by Trevor. Fakes this pitch to what I'm assuming is Trevor Young on this play, another first-round projected pick on this Clemson offense, and really gets this whole defensive front to bite downhill. Really opens up that lane in the middle of the field for the tight ends. Good call by Tony Elliott. Nice quick pass. Showing a lot of versatility in terms of where he can throw on the field. Okay, let's play fake. Good decision on the keeper.
Why does it sound like someone's dying in the background?
I think that's Daniel. Nice good screen pass. Very efficient in the short game so far, which is nice to see. Well, until then at least. Overall, in general, doing a pretty nice job so far of making those easy throws. Okay, nice ball placement here. Nice job of just hitting the receiver. Hitting him in stride, of course, as well. Beautiful ball placement right on the numbers. It's really good stuff here from him. Beautiful. Great boundary throw. That's an NFL catch, too. Same thing, really nice simple throw in the intermediate level. Yeah, screw that. Okay, third and long. Nice high throw. We've gotten to see him place some of these throws both high and low so far, which has been really nice. Also, I like the way he's able to escape this pressure too. One thing that we spent a lot of time talking about, I think it was with Zach Wilson, was the ability to stay in the pocket and avoid that pressure without having to run around. There's a really nice job there just shaking the tackle and making the throw on the run. Wasn't exactly the best throw ever, but still a very good first and second phase of that play. Okay, nice, good, easy ball there for the running back.
I mean, you see quite often that even on those plays, a lot of QBs tend to throw it over their heads, so that was a perfect ball.
So somebody gets away with hold if they don't call it. I have no idea what happens on the receiver side of this play. Yeah, I was having a ball at the beginning. The ability to vary placement, like he's been able to showcase in this game already, through the first quarter, half or so, is relatively rare. It's actually something we don't get the chance to talk about very often, because a lot of these guys are talking about just how they're able to put the ball on the numbers or where it needs to be. And with Lawrence, you're talking about the ability to kind of enhance that and take that to another level, which is really special in terms of accuracy and ball placement. Same thing, just beautiful throw. It's a very simple slant. I mean, it's not like a particularly complex route in terms of timing or variance or anything like that. Release move, just runs a nice simple inside release, gets the ball right where it needs to be, and allows the receiver to create that extra yardage himself. That's very basic quarterback play, but you need to see that stuff out of number one overall pick too. That's what makes guys like, for example, Andrew Luck, who went number one however many years ago, so successful. Same thing, just a very easy read. You have your choice between these two guys, the underneath and the running back, or the slant with the wide receiver. Gets the corner caught up in zone, it looks like, and easy throw to the slant. Great timing. Nice job to dissect the zone as well. Just throws it right in between the two defenders. Gets it there quickly and on time. And has the velocity to be able to split those zones as well, which is very critical when you're going to be going against NFL defenses at the next level. All about being able to fit that ball path against some of these tougher tier zone defenses. Same thing there. Excellent ball path. Great ball placement. And that throw is going to beat every defense in 2021. Beautiful. And it's all about the ball placement, right? I mean, we talk about this all the time, but this is just taking it to the next level, like I said a couple minutes ago. Just right where you want to put it. Outside corner, higher, away from the defenders here, underneath, right in the spot. Great hands catch by the pass catcher, though, too, as well, like a fullback.
I think it's generally a good sign for quarterbacks when everything looks easy and effortless.
Yep. And it's all about this consistency that we're seeing with him, too. Obviously, he's not the best at feeling that rush, apparently, it looks like, but the consistency of just delivering the ball on time where it needs to be, velocity, catchable football, it's really nice to kind of see that element of, okay, you know what you're going to get out of this guy. And you see the same thing repeatedly over and over and over again.
And being able to, feel the rush and feel the pressure or whatever will come with time. It's not going to come to a junior in university.
Especially at a university that has so much more talent than pretty much anybody they play, except like maybe one or two teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he just generally doesn't get pressure all that much.
And I'm sure he's going to learn very fast playing with whatever the hell the New York Jets field in front of him. I mean, his blindside set with Mackay, but other than that, it's pretty crap.
I love this play. It's very simple play action, and then look at this throw on the run. Like, that's not a very easy throw. And like Daniel was saying, I think it was just a minute ago. Like, the effortlessness. I don't know if that's a word, but the ability to make that throw look so easy when he's on the run, running like away from his throwing shoulder. And still deliver this literally right on target. Like, perfect ball placement here. Right on the hands. Beautiful position to create that rack. And that's exquisite. I love the timing on that throw too. Just gets it out early to not force that boundary. Same thing. Excellent timing.
With the guy right in his face. There was a guy right in his face, and he just still basically walked over and handed it to him.
Nice. Good decision to take the under there. Especially on first. Rip the Tigers. Oh my god. 13 to nothing in the 7th.
Sad.
I thought you were talking to the Clemson Tigers.
No,
I was like,
talking about
what
the
the hell?
bottom ticker.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Still though,
Yeah,
I mean, this is. What were you gonna say?
The biggest thing, it just with Lawrence is about 80% of these throws, with where he's throwing it, that's where you would put it if you could walk over and hand it to him. That's where you would put it.
Yep.
That's where he's putting most of these throws. You could just walk over and hand it to him, and you'd put it in the spot.
In the NFL, it's going to be a lot more tightly covered than what Wake Forest fields. And with that type of throw, Lawrence is still going to make an accurate completion that a defender is not going to be able to do anything about.
Yeah, obviously.
You go.
No, that was all I was just saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I think that a lot of the things that you really tend to look for too when it comes to these guys is a lot of it is honestly projection. Okay, are they going to be able to do this against Brandon Staley's Rams, or are they going to be able to do this against Steve Spagnuolo's Chiefs, or are they going to be able to against the, I don't know, what's his own, have you seen Patrick Graham Giants? Are these guys going to be able to make these throws against these different types of coverages that they're going to see? And for Lawrence, it doesn't seem like that's really all that much of a projection. I think that the safety that we're seeing and the consistency, most importantly, here is what's really standing out to me. It's in every single throw type of thing. It's not like, oh, that's a really nice throw, and then 3 throws later, oh, that's a really nice throw. It's like every single throw that he makes is like, boom, right on the spot, boom, right on the spot, boom, dart, boom, line, right on line, dart, perfect throw. Like every single thing that we've seen from him so far is just so consistently right where it needs to be. That I don't really think that's becoming much of an issue in terms of projection. I think you
Okay,
can
what
kind of
happened
see what
here?
you're getting there.
Can we go back?
Oh, yeah. To the drop snap?
Yeah, I want to see what happened here. I didn't. Yeah, he just straight dropped that.
7th round grade just for that.
It looked like it might have been a little bit too far to the left, because like if you see it like bounce off the shoulder. Yeah, like he's trying to reach out for it.
Probably should have still had that, but yeah, that
you
wasn't
still
a perfect
should
snap.
get it.
Yeah.
Speaking
I'm
of
not gonna-
snaps, how often have you guys seen him take snaps under center? For those of you guys who watch more than I have.
Not a ton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
dropper
more shotgun. But he does take it under center. Like, there's times where, even in this game, we've seen some under center work.
Trying to figure out, was this a missed throw, or was this like a drop, or like did the receiver? looked like more like the receiver just fell more than anything.
No, I think that was. It wasn't like a drop, but that was kind of the only spot he had to put it.
Yeah,
So I
he
think
tried
that
to
it
lead it
knocked out.
away from Torrance.
I think it knocked loose when he hit the ground. Is what happened.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but I'm more so like impressed by this throw, like the placement to be able to put that in that window, and then low enough to where that receiver is not, or not the receiver, the corner isn't able to cut that off. That is
Yeah.
exquisite ball placement. Like, forget the fact that was an incompletion. That's just a fantastic throw.
Yeah, that's something. All right.
Dang.
Minus 24. Oh, they count sacks as
They count
rushing
sacks
yards.
as rushing yards. Yep.
I was about to say.
So yeah, not the particularly best game from him in terms of rushing, but in terms of passing, well, that was definitely everything that I wanted to see for sure. We'll start with Keeling on this one. What do you think?
If I was just, someone else can go because I have to run and do something. So while you guys are talking, I'll be right back.
Okay, Daniel, how about you start this one?
I mean, like, it's a performance worthy of a number one overall pick. Even against Wake Forest, like you said, the consistency is still there. It's not like, oh, I can get lazy with ball placement because it's just against Wake Forest. No. You got to build habits. Quarterbacking is all about habits, and so even against Wake Forest, you see consistent ball placement. You still see making good decisions, and it's just really impressive.
Cool, Braden.
I mean, yeah, it's just insanely good how he is, and I think what sets him apart from mostly anybody who's ever come out is he does this basically every throw. Like
Yep.
every throw, you're like, yeah, if you'd walk out, you were allowed to walk out and hand the ball to a receiver, you'd put it in that spot, and that's where he puts it most of the time.
Yeah, I think for me so far, like I started watching tape in 2005 with the Smith and Rogers class, and we've only watched the one game so far, but based on what I've seen from him live as well, going back to last year, plus in this individual game, it's kind of hard for me to remember or pinpoint anyone who's had that kind of consistent placement. I've seen some guys come out who make a lot of very easy throws. I mean, even guys like Luke Falk and so on can make the 80% completion marks look pretty easy and consistent. I think Gardner Minshew was another one that was kind of in that group. But it's really hard to make, especially these intermediate level throws that we saw Lawrence making this last game. Like hitting those throws between that first down marker and 20 to 25 yards downfield up the seam. Those are harder, more difficult throws than these quick screens and slants and things that are generally easier completion level, just boost the numbers up type of stat pattern type of throws, I guess. He's not just relying on those behind the line of scrimmage type of throws. We're seeing him exploit holes and seams, and we're seeing him attack different concepts, and we're seeing him read defenses in a way that some of those other guys that have those consistent accuracy and ball placement traits don't. So it's not just about finding that consistent accuracy in that 5 yard range or that 5 to 10 yard range, like your Kirk Cousins is another example, I guess, of that, or Alex Smith type of guys, but finding that consistent accuracy in that 15, 20, 25 yard range is really, really nice to see. Keeling, you back yet?
Yep, I'm back.
Okay, so your thoughts on the last game?
I mean, I thought it was pretty much all you could want from, a quarterback. He was able to make, perfect ball placement. He can throw the ball to any level of the field efficiently and accurately. He has the mobility. He's not doesn't have the mobility of Lamar Jackson or even Justin Fields, but he can get out of the pocket. He can take off. You have the ability to run a read option with him a couple times a game, You can make throws on the run better than pretty much any quarterback I've seen do so. He's really a threat with his arm any level, anywhere, on the run, under pressure. Basically, yeah. That's what I got.
Nice. Cool. So here we go with the second game that we're going to watch today. Also from this current season, 2020, his last year, assuming he declares this year as expected. I believe they said, I believe it was Breer that said that he's been basically talking to like potential agents and he's already kind of made up his mind where he wants to sign and stuff like that. So it's looking like a near certainty that he is going to in fact declare this year.
Basically, especially if Clemson wins a national title, he's gone because there's nothing for him to do other than maybe win a Heisman.
Yeah. He could still win the Heisman if he goes off on Saturday.
I mean, he could, but I think it's doubtful because he missed a few games.
Yeah, I mean, Trask played poorly, so if Trask plays another poor game against Alabama and it doesn't go to Mac Jones, it's probably going to Trevor Lawrence, but it's probably still doubtful, you're right. Okay.
And what I do like about this is I just talked about how he doesn't really rely on those screen passes. But when he does throw these, like this is a fantastic throw right to the receiver. Doesn't really cause him to be moving all over and adjusting to the football. The football adjusts to where the receiver is. And that's really, really strong level of consistency about placement. And it's what's called beautiful. Love to see this. This is something I think it was Keelan that brought up at the beginning of the video, throwing under pressure. Boom, guy right in his face, stands tall in the pocket, delivers a beautiful ball right in between that seam. Or that throwing in that defense. Beautiful.
That's something I noticed he struggled on last year, but, I mean, so far this year,
Yeah. This, on the other hand, we have seen a couple of times. The inability to get the ball out quick enough. That's going to be a problem. Nice stunt call. Good check down. Good rack.
There was nobody within 20 yards of him. Good lord.
How are you about to leave a top 3 running back in college football wide open?
Why not?
Nice. Oh, wow. Okay. Again, Virginia is actually doing a pretty nice job of beating this Clemson O-line so far. That's the third rep in the first quarter alone that we've already seen them generate some pretty solid pass rush.
Yeah.
And Lawrence still, despite the guy coming free at the end, just absolutely beautiful throw. Down
It was a great
tears
catch,
up
too.
that coverage and gets in between every person in that defense.
Okay, I like
That's
that.
a bit of a hold.
Good decision. A very good decision here. Okay, simple jet pass. Nice, good, quick release here. You're going to have a real nice feel for this pressure. Must be an inconsistency thing there, because he does a great job of bringing. He must have read that pre-snap to get that ball out. And again, excellent placement, like right out in front of the receiver on 3rd and 4. Real nice throw. Beautiful, good velocity on that. Nice play action.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Nice. Beautiful. Just, I love these boundary throws because you really get, I feel like for me, you really get a strong feel of who a quarterback is by their ability to hit these throws on the boundary like this. And I'm just, oh my goodness, the timing, the ball placement, you really get a feel for everything that you need to see on boundary throws, and as well as throws up the seam. If you can hit your boundary throws and your throws up the seam just to tear apart the zones, then you're going to be a successful quarterback. And we've seen both. Specifically, the last game with the seam throws, and this game we're seeing some of these boundary throws. Just, I mean,
Yep.
exquisite ball placement and timing on this play. Right where it needs to be. If that's an NFL tight end, he gets the second foot down.
Yep. One thing I've noticed and I'm very excited about is that he can play in pretty much any scheme.
Yep.
Like, the Jets are obviously going to fire Adam Gase when the season concludes. But, whoever they hire, whether, let's say maybe they hire a guy like Brandon Staley and he brings along his colleague, what's his face, Shane Waldron. He can run that bootleg offense the Rams like to run. He can run an offense, that kind of more vertical offense that Brian Dable likes to run or whatever. He can run anything.
Yeah, and that versatility is going to be really important, and I think that's going to come up, assuming they do fire Gase as expected. I think that's going to come up in interviews too. Like you're going to see them interview a wide range of guys, and on the other hand, though, too, you bring up a good point with Staley, not necessarily Staley specifically, but like you can go out and hire a defensive coach, and he'll be just fine as long as you get a competent offensive coordinator. Like, I mean, you can hire any number of quarterback coaches. Say they hire, I don't know, Spagnuolo, I guess, as like the Chiefs DC. They bring in like Kafka, like the Chiefs QB coach as their OC. Like, you don't necessarily need to have like the strongest resume in terms of play calling or whatever. You can build an offense entirely around Trevor Lawrence and
Yep.
just let him do what he needs to do against any particular defense and let him make the decisions on the field in terms of where the ball needs to go. Trust him to make his reads and progressions, get the ball out on time and where it needs to be. And as long as your offensive line can hold up and do its job, you'll be able to find some pretty easy success there. Not necessarily year one. I don't think that we need to come out and say the Jets are going to be a Super Bowl team in 2021. But I do think that he's someone that you will be able to win Super Bowls with at this point. Assuming he stays healthy, of course.
Yep, and that the Jets can field a decent team around him. I mean, well, we said the same thing about Andrew Luck 8 or 9 years ago, but the Colts refused to build anything around him until right before he retired.
Yeah, Grigson did not exactly do a great job.
No. But it sucks. This Colts team with Andrew Luck is a Super Bowl contender.
Nice. Nice.
Wow.
Okay, I like a little bit of a block there. Read, yep, good. Nice. Easy. Nice quick throw leading him toward the boundary. Trying to get him into that space. Okay, or that. Nice blitz pickup.
Oh, man.
Get out. Good.
Nice. Can't be mad at him throwing the ball away.
Nice.
3 seconds left. Oh, they're just gonna kill the clock.
Ooh, okay. That's probably like the first missed throw we've seen from him, like between the two games. And even now, you had the guy running at him.
Even then, that wasn't that bad of a miss.
No.
Oh, gotta get that out though. So yeah, that
Internal clock has occasionally been a problem, but it's not like a massive problem because he tends to get up the ball like 90% of the time pretty quickly, but 10% he sometimes
It's definitely
has
something
a
that
problem.
you're gonna want to work with him in camp, especially with the Jets' offensive line.
I wonder how much of this is on. Now, I don't want to sound like too. Oh, jeez. I don't want to sound too like unknowledgeable, I guess. But I wonder how much of this is on Elliott and Dabo for not preparing him for this specific defense. Because some of this is Virginia just sending diagnosed blitzes. Like on this particular play here, even we're going to see like that safety comes free, and then the guy just gets knocked back. So, like, how much of this is on the offensive line of Clemson versus the coaching of Clemson versus Lawrence?
I mean, the offensive line has a few draftable players, so I mean,
This
To be
game
fair, that
specifically,
didn't
they
mean
haven't been
anything
that
when we
great.
watched Fields.
true.
Yeah, same thing. They're just sending the heavy blitz here, and the guy goes through
Yeah.
unblocked. So part of this feels like it might even be a coaching thing. I don't know who Clemson's O-line coach is. Nice.
That was one hell of a juke.
Get out. Yep, good.
Beautiful.
There's that slide play.
Yep.
Ah, I gotta get that a little bit higher. Oh, you gotta catch that, dude. This is why personnel. I talk about this all the time when I talk about the Lions. This is why personnel management matters. Because if that's ETN, you know he's catching that. I don't know who
Yeah.
Right, but
23 is.
I mean, like, you're not just gonna like run ETN for like 100% of the snaps.
But on a 3rd and 11,
When the play is likely designed for a running back.
exactly.
And he's gone. Oh, no.
Close enough. Okay, nice little tight end screen.
Interesting.
Speaking of the Lions. Oh, nice.
He's got wheels for being a 6'6" quarterback. Dropping that shoulder too.
It's more so just about this cut to make this guy miss for me.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. So, Daniel, we'll start with you on this one. Your thoughts?
I'm struggling not to repeat myself here. We did see some intermittent concerns with internal clock, but overall it's hard to say anything else of note other than he's really freaking good.
Cool. Brayden?
I mean, yes, anything we have against it's more not a problem. It's more of a minor gripe, you know. That's why I kind of warned that this video would be be boring because we're just saying the same stuffs over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Keelan?
Yeah, I mean, he's almost perfect at everything he does. I mean, yeah, you'd like to see him, have a better internal clock and get the ball out faster under pressure, but, that's not the biggest issue to me. I mean, he's still...
The thing Lawrence has to do that to make sure that people don't suspect that he's actually a part of a CIA experiment to test artificial intelligence among the human population.
Understandable.
Was that all you had, Keelan?
I can't recall what I said before. So yeah.
Okay. So the final game we have is against the, at the time, ranked number 70 team in the league, or in the nation. No idea where they're ranked now, but I know they're not top 10.
Well, they gave up 62 points and almost 800 yards last week, so no, they're not.
What? Who do they play? North Carolina, right?
Yeah, they lost 62-28, and they gave up 778 yards of offense.
Jeez.
Oh, they're still ranked 10.
Oh, they are?
Unless the playoff poll hasn't happened yet.
It has happened. That's got to be.
Oh, it just didn't update on my app.
They're 18th.
It didn't update on my app. Never mind.
Yeah, they're 18th.
So still a relatively capable defense, at least, especially compared to the last two teams that we...
Shout out to CU for still being ranked. Go Buffs. Oh boy.
What?
Again, just really nice, easy throw. Great ball placement, precision. Excellent. Nice. I like this. Taking a look at that left side to kind of distract from the screen, and you see, look at the defenders. They're all watching Lawrence here to make sure maybe he doesn't run, maybe he's not taking off left, whatever. And all these guys, especially the linemen, run inside. And even this guy is stuck with inside, looking inside, I guess is the best way to phrase that. So when they dump this off on the screen, nobody is there for, well, except for the guy who misses. Nobody is there to make that play.
It also shows, in my opinion, that he can throw off platform from different arm angles. That was a little bit of a sidearm there.
And watch this throw. It's a very easy bubble screen. Like, I mean, well, for one, you don't really see this all that often at the NFL level. But boom, it's right on the hands, right at the helmet level, right at the eye level, shoulder pad level, wherever you want to call it. Right on target, just like this receiver go right upfield. It's a very easy throw to make, but you very rarely see that kind of throw with that kind of placement and precision.
That's a throw that only Hollywood Brown's dropping.
Unfortunately, based on last week, probably Deontay.
Sad.
He got benched due to drops, I think, last week. Oh, what are you doing?
Ooh.
What was this? Okay, so who wants to try and explain this to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
I mean, you have number
Just-
3 wide open.
but yeah, no, it's a factor of his extraordinary confidence. He thinks he can fit the ball into that window, and it doesn't quite work out.
Honestly, he probably could. But that's actually a pretty nice play by the defender to undercut this. And what makes me a little bit more iffy about this, though, is it's not even necessarily the decision, because I don't even really care about the decision. If he releases this at this point in the play, on this out, like, he's got that tight end or receiver, bigger receiver going to the boundary. Like, that's the throw that we've seen him make a few times already. But it's the late timing, for one, that really makes this throw a bit of a concern. The telegraphing of this and not looking off at 3 or 17, that kind of gives this away in terms of where he's going. And then most importantly, it's the actual throw. Because, like, you're going to see him actually throw this really, really short. So it's a product of kind of all three of those things going wrong on that particular play at the same time. Also, personal opinion, I find these plays so stupid. Daniel, I know you like pass rush.
I mean, it worked.
It worked.
NBA Finals continue tomorrow. Nice. Nice. There you go.
Nice.
Good slide. Oh, that's a late hit.
Oh, that's a late hit. Yeah.
Okay, good ball placement here. Also,
Yep.
one thing I want to touch on here too that we haven't gotten a chance to really look at is this trajectory that he throws this with. He's going to get real nice arc on this. Appropriate arcing trajectory on that ball. And then the placement is still going to be right where it needs to be. Oh my goodness. His timing seems a little bit off this game. Was this his first game back from COVID?
No, this was before he got it. You have to realize he probably didn't play much most of those first two games because he played that Wake Forest game and then he played Citadel and then Virginia, so he probably hadn't played a ton.
Yeah. And this is his first real challenge. Really want.
Oh Lord!
With the exception of the playoff games and Notre Dame next week, Miami's really the only really difficult opponent that Lawrence faces in his career.
Lawrence didn't play Notre Dame. He
No,
was
I'm
That's
saying
true.
he's gonna play. I'm saying he's gonna play them next week in the ACC championship,
Oh, okay, I see.
which is something I'm really looking forward to.
This weekend, I think.
Yeah.
So again, really nice arcing trajectory on this ball, which is going to be, from a quarterback's perspective, what you want to see here. You can kind of ignore the drop side in the environment in the QB here, but just really nice throw. And then again, the placement and the ability to lead upfield as well. Like right where he needs to be, and in stride as well. So really nice start from Lawrence. He really should have caught that, but oh man. Okay. Same thing. I think that might have even been the same play.
It was
Just
the
against a
same. It
different
was to the
coverage.
same guy.
Boom.
That's
Oh
one
my
hell of a throw.
goodness.
That's the perfect throw. That's a perfect throw in college. That's the perfect throw in the NFL.
Like he's not even necessarily throwing it on like with his regular mechanics too, which is kind of why I've been rewinding this a few times. Watch his footwork on this play. Like especially at the end, he's almost like rushed with his mechanical elements because they're sending
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're sending 6, so he feels the
that's
pressure and gets it off back footed almost, and he's still able to
that's
deliver that kind of touch on that.
that shows more to his mental side than his physical side. I mean, he obviously reads that blitz pre-snap and hurries up his dropout so he can get the ball out, and that just says a lot about his maturity and his knowledge.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, rip.
Nice. Good timing there. Nice. Nice. Good reload. Nice. Good throwaway. Especially it's on third down. This is one of those critical situations where you have the ball starting at your 19, your opponent's 19, on third and long. You don't need to risk anything. You're already in field goal range. Especially when your receivers are covered and you're being pressured like this. Just get that out. If you need to take the hit, and kick the field goal. Unfortunately, it looks like they missed it or something along those lines.
Unfortunate.
But that's good process there. Same thing on that play, really nice. Like an RPO concept, actually. Nice, good simple concept. Oh, beautiful. Watch the touch. Just lost it right over the defender. Very soft throw. Right over the top. Oh, man. Nice. Again, that's unfortunate. We just talked about that pressure. Miami home to one of the number one edge rushers in this class, and Gregory Rousseau. I don't know if that was him that was number
He
2 or
opted
not.
out this year, so that's Quincy Roche, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Who's
He's pretty
still
good
a
too, isn't he?
who's still a day 2 pick this
Yeah.
year for sure.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Gets around with the speed rush. Lawrence does a great job of getting that ball out early. And if ETN were looking for this, that's a really nice throw.
Yeah.
Nice. Good release. Nice. Good velo. Yeah. Nice.
Ooh.
Interesting play call.
I don't think that was designed.
I thought it was. I mean,
Oh, yeah, you're right. It might be a draw.
yeah, it looked like a draw to me. Odd with 8 seconds left in the half, but I guess they were just trying to kill time.
Okay. Rip the ref. Nice. Don't forget to slide or not.
That's unfortunate.
Same thing. Good.
Slide. Thank you.
Good D by Miami. You guys see the stat? 5 of 7 off-line completions for first downs on third in this game.
Wow. That's a hell of a throw. Okay, Mr. Offensive lineman.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. So this might be one of the more impressive throws I've seen from him through the 3 games. Because you're going to see the play action obviously takes a little bit of time. So that's one of the reasons why teams don't run it 70% of the time. Is because it delays that route, that timing. So it gives the Miami front of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys a little bit of extra time to get pressure. Boom. Gets this off with an incredibly quick release. With the guy behind him, for one, that could potentially pull Romeo Carr and ship sack this. And the guy coming right in front of him. And that ball's in the air. That is a very good release, for one. I wouldn't necessarily say Zach Wilson-esque, like number 1 in the class, but that is an elite release. And more importantly, you're still seeing that spiral, so he didn't, it's not like he got deflected or hit or moved. It's still a really nice ball in terms of spiral and mechanical element. And then, it's a little bit off center, but that's a trackable ball, and he gets the air underneath this that you need to be able to track this. Now, it's unfortunate that the route was just a hair off, but this is definitely one of the more impressive throws I've seen all year watching tape. That was really, really well executed on T-Law's part. Nice. Nice, good quick throw. And again, we talked about the timing a lot with him so far, because that's one of those more advanced type of things that you're going to be looking for. And the timing on this throw is very precise. It's just right in that window between the linebacker cutting this off and the corner over the top. Beautiful
My apologies.
Great ball placement, right on time.
You guys able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Sorry, my Skype decided it didn't want to see me succeed today.
Can't blame him.
Watch. Nice, Travis. Oh man.
Oh man, that's a dot.
And he puts this right in between this coverage. Again, very nice timing. But also the throw is right where he needs to be. Gives him the time to lower the shoulder. Easy touchdown.
It doesn't give the defense a chance to be able to hit the tight end hard and knock the ball loose, or it's not behind him where it's easier for the guy trailing the tight end. It's perfect right where it needs to be.
So, y'all thoughts? Brady, we'll start with you on this one.
You could
I
just
got
basically,
nothing. I mean, like,
Daniel.
we kind of know what this guy is already, I think. It's a first overall pick. Yeah, there's nothing here that we haven't seen before.
Cool.
Very
Brady?
cool.
I mean, you could just repeat what I said the previous two games.
Alrighty then. Keelan?
Yeah, I mean, he's. I'll give you something more than they did. I mean, he's just phenomenal. I mean, he does everything perfectly. He's about as refined as the QB prospect you're gonna find, right? I mean, he's got to be one of the top 3 QB prospects of all time.
And he's not 2 or 3.
I mean, if you want to have him above Luck and Manning, then sure. I mean, I wasn't obviously. I didn't start watching tape until pretty recently. So, but that's a project I've been working on. So eventually I'll get to Luck, and then even further later I'll get to Peyton Manning.
Yeah, he's pretty easily the best quarterback prospects I've ever seen. So
Yeah.
Okay, so going through here, we have an elite day 1 starter, guy who's going to be able to come in, play very well immediately, no matter what team he goes to, pretty much. Concerns grade, he's not going to be end up targeted by the Lions. I don't see us having the assets to be able to trade up to 1. So that's not going to happen.
The only way he doesn't end up with the Jets is if he blatantly says, "I don't want to be a Jet," which if I was his agent, I would advise him to do. To be fair,
the only way he's not going to be a Jet is if he pulls an Eli Manning or he pulls a Sam Bradford.
I mean, I guess hypothetically it's possible that the Jets somehow manage to win a game the rest of the year. In which case the tiebreaker, I think, technically goes to the Jags.
Yeah, the Jags would get up.
So if you're a Jags fan watching this, and we've been talking about the Jets the whole time, apologies if he ends up going to Jacksonville or another team. But as of the time of this recording, which is December 15th of 2020 still, we currently project that he is going to end up in New York.
And
they're not winning.
Basically, everything we said about the Jets everything we said about the Jets can be said about the Jags. I mean, the old line talent is fairly similar. They're both going to fire their coaches, so
likely. We don't know about Marone.
No. Yeah, but if the Jags don't fire Marone, they deserve to sell their team and move to London.
Khan is a pretty conservative owner, though. I could see a situation where he doesn't hire Marone.
Yeah, well,
especially given that it sounds like they want to run with the coach as GM philosophy, and they seem to trust Marone to do that.
They trust Marone so much that he repays their trust by eventually probably going 1-15 this season.
Okay, so concerns grade, we have none. Obviously, no athletic concerns, no character concerns, no real medical concerns in terms of lingering injuries or anything long term.
I don't think he's had an injury. His only time he missed time was because of COVID, I believe.
If I remember correctly, he's been knocked out a couple of games.
Has he?
Yeah, like
I think he missed like 1 or 2 last year.
I think there was 1 or 2 games he got knocked out in the game last year.
I don't recall, but maybe.
No issues.
It wasn't serious.
Yeah, it wasn't really. He came back like the next game or whatever. No issues with playbook or system or learning, as we talked about earlier. I think it was during the second game. You can basically just put whatever system you want around him, and he'll be able to learn it. Special teams, obviously, definitely not an issue with any quarterback, let alone Lawrence. If you're playing Lawrence on special teams, you deserve to be fired immediately. No issues with mental toughness and no real issues with size. 220 might be a little bit light for some people. I personally am not bothered in the slightest. I didn't care about Lamar, and he was like, 210? So I'm definitely not going to complain about Trevor Lawrence. So, player comparison, I'll let you guys come up with a couple of these first. Daniel, we'll start with you on this. Do you have a player comparison for Lawrence that you like?
I mean, it's not perfect because he's more of an on-script quarterback, I think, than this guy. But, frankly, we haven't seen this combo of arm strength and mental aptitude since Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I was thinking, too. Yep, okay. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you said that, because I was looking at my list and I was like, you know what, that kind of thinks Aaron Rodgers, especially since we saw him last week. Anyway, do you want to expand on that, or is that all?
I mean, it's not a perfect comparison, like I said. Lawrence is more on script than Aaron Rodgers, but just in terms of the size, the arm strength, the ball placement, it's all very Rodgers-esque to me.
Cool.
I'm gonna second that Rodgers one. I mean, you could compare him to pretty much any elite quarterback that has an amazing arm and mental. So, I mean, you could compare him to Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning if you wanted to. But I really like the Rodgers comparison. I mean, he has the arm to match Rodgers. the mental game. He gets out of the pocket and can make a throw in the run, do anything. Yeah, I like the Rodgers comparison.
Brady?
I mean, I guess I just don't really know if there is an absolute. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would work.
Do you have another one that you like that you have for yourself?
Not not really. It's when someone is this good, it's hard to make a comparison to someone who is already this good.
That's true.
Cool. So the biggest strength for me is, I've talked about it this whole time, but it really is the consistency factor. It's not even necessarily so much one individual trait that stands out. It's not like he has, oh my god, Matthew Stafford level arm strength. It's not like, oh my god, he's Lamar Jackson mobile. It's really just his ability to be consistent and put the ball where it needs to be 95 times out of 100. And
Yeah.
even in the cases that were incompletions, were in some cases drops, he's got almost 80% completion rate, and that doesn't include the drops. So I mean, we're literally talking probably 85 to 90% completion in terms of accuracy, which is absurd, especially for a Power 5 quarterback. So the consistency there, I would guess probably accuracy would be more specific, or ball placement, but the consistency kind of being its strength is something that really stands out in its own right.
That's essentially saying for biggest strength everything without actually saying everything.
Pretty much, yep. Biggest weakness is probably feel for pressure. We've talked about that a few times. Just getting more comfortable with diagnosing the blitz plays in particular, recognizing where the rush is going to come from, being prepared for another team's best player, for example, making sure, okay, we're going against the Rams this week, got to know where Aaron Donald is, type of deal. Okay, maybe this week we're playing Cleveland, maybe it's time that we watch out for Myles Garrett. Being aware of those impact players and where those guys are going to be coming from, especially in those heavier blitz type of teams. Making sure, like when you play the Bucks, okay, we got Devin White and Levante David who can blitz up the middle this week, or the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I think they're going to see next year. Just making sure that okay, we got Devin Bush and Vince Williams this week, and being aware of where guys are coming from and rigging that pressure pre-snap.
I have a note to add to this, just really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
The feel for pressure, I felt it really improved against Miami than it was against Virginia. His ability to read the blitz and get the ball out on time was something that was astronomically improved in that game. I mean, that's still probably his biggest weakness and very minimal weaknesses. But I'm just gonna throw that out there. That obviously I don't think it's a bad part of his game. I just think that's the thing that he needs to work on the most.
Cool. Brayden, do you have any thoughts? What is your biggest weakness?
I guess.
I think it's.
Or Daniel,
Oops, sorry.
I guess.
Sorry.
Just go.
Sorry. No. It's you. I'm sorry. I misheard it
go,
as me. Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Brayden, do you have another different weakness, or is that the one that kind of stood out the most to you from watching this?
I mean, like, if I were to put it in a different term, I would say internal clock, but that's just me. So, because I don't really think he has a bad feel for pressure when he sees it coming. It's just that sometimes he holds on to the ball a little bit too long.
Okay, interesting. Brayden, you this time? For real?
I'm scared to start talking.
You're good.
Anyway, I mean, any week, it's a better thing. It's with, I guess you could say it's not even a weakness. It's the thing he's worst at. He's the thing he's least good at, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, he's not even bad. It's still quite good compared to most other people. It's just when he's just so good at everything else. It's just more you have to put something there than an actual concern.
So would you agree
Yeah.
that would probably be the weakest link to his
I
game?
guess.
Okay.
Yeah, although I'm not worried about it one bit.
Cool. So we got high floor, high ceiling, pretty self-explanatory. In case of injury, we have to go some bust potential, especially for a number 1 overall pick. So we're going 5%. The games that we watched were Miami, Florida, which was the last one.
The first one was
Yeah.
Wake. The second one was Virginia. I believe the first one was Wake.
No, Virginia was second. Wake Forest was first. That's kind of funny because that was actually the order of the 3 games.
Yeah.
Okay, so time for the fun part. Mental traits for me, probably the weakest of the 3 categories. I'm going to go with a 22, which is a B+. Arm strength is going to be a 24, which is whoops, actually that needs to be 24 or 22, which is crap. 22, where's the back? There it is. Backslash B+, which is a 6.7. 24, whoops. 24 for arm strength, which is an A and a 6.1. Actually, yeah, I'll leave it in A. 6.9. Arm accuracy is going to get, I think, my first perfect score of the year. God dang it. Which is a 25. A+. Well, at least among quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And then 7.0. And then mobility is also about the same as everyone else. So 23, A, and 6.9. My one sentence summary is probably going to be consistent across the board with elite placement and very capable arm. Okay, I'm going to get rid of very and just put capable arm. Okay, so I'll let you guys go over your grades while I calculate total mine.
Alright, I'll go first. For arm strength, I gave him a 24. I don't think he has that Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford arm, but it's pretty damn close to me. For accuracy, I gave him a perfect 25. I mean, some of the best ball placement you're going to find. Mental traits, I gave him a 23. To me, he made good decisions on pretty much every throw of his, except for one, I think, that we saw. I mean, the internal clock is not as big of as an issue as I don't know. It's not a really big issue. And mobility, I give him a 23. I mean, the 25 and 24 range to me is reserved for guys like Lamar Jackson and them. So a 23 is a more than respectable grade. It's the same grade I gave to guys like Fields and Zach Wilson. So someone can go next. Daniel, or
Braden could go next.
I mean, I'd say both arm strength and accuracy are perfect in my opinion. I'd say I disagree. I think they're on the level of a Stafford, honestly. It's just he doesn't, because I think it's more so a thing that his teammates are just so much better than their competition that he doesn't have to use his arm that much. I think if he needed to, he would be able to show he's on the level of an Allen or a Stafford. I just think he just doesn't show it because he doesn't have to all that much.
I'm really looking forward. I'm really hoping he does the I doubt he does, but I hope he does the combine drills, just so I can really see him flash that arm. And honestly, I believe it, but from what I see, I don't know if I should put him at 25. So I'm really excited to see what he does at the combine.
He's not gonna compete at the combine. There's no chance.
No, he has nothing to gain.
Yeah.
Overall, I just think that these grades are pretty spot on. Like, I was literally thinking 22 for mental traits as soon as Chris went over the grades. So, like, yeah, these look pretty phenomenal to me, and pretty much exactly where I would have them.
I'd honestly put the mental traits a little bit higher. I'm not. I think it's more of a. I think it's more so of a thing of he's just not used to being pressured, or he's not used to have, or he's just overconfident, deservedly so because of how good he is, and so I think it's fine. I guess I go 23, 25, 25, and 23. I guess so.
That's pretty much the same thing as me. One above me actually, which I believe that would make it 20 or 2 above Chris and Daniel. So
Cool. So for me, my total ended up coming to a 94, which is, of course, QB1 in the class. My overall grade would end up being an A by default. Of course, A plus A, B plus averages out to about an A. So that's going to be a solid A. And then my code grade is going to be 769 plus 69 plus 67 by 4 is 6.875, or basically a borderline 6.9.
cool. My final grade was a 95 for him, and in comparison, I have Fields down at 91. So he's the clear QB1 for me.
Cool. So, Daniel, we'll start with you on this one. What is one sentence that you would use to just summarize the 3 games that we just watched with Trevor Lawrence? Like, just one brief sentence. 10 words or less.
He's excellent. He's excellent, and he has excellent accuracy, arm strength, athleticism combo. Occasionally has intermittent problems with internal clock.
Okay. Keelan, we'll go with you next.
Hold on, I have it written down here. I just need to find one. Oh, there it is. I said perfect at damn near everything. Occasional issues with internal clock. He's a future All-Pro / Hall of Famer if he stays healthy.
And Braden?
Yeah, I mean, it's just he's just so much better than anybody that will be in this class before, after, basically any class in almost any draft in NFL history. He's like the unquestioned top player. He's just good at absolutely everything. The only way he messes up is if you fail to protect him. the competent line, which I don't trust the Jets to do because they're the Jets.
Jets.
So yeah, as you guys can tell, like the difference for me between Lawrence and Fields is about the same difference to me as the difference between Wilson and Trask. So, like, I mean, that's a pretty stark difference. My grades this year are a lot lower than they have been in the past, as part of the new system that I'm translating to this year. So 95 is like you're really like locked in at number one, overall type of guy. And especially like if you give the quarterback bump, which I'm going to end up doing at the end of the year, when I do my draft board, like that'll put him at a 99 with a +5 grade. So
Yeah.
that'll be 97 for Fields, 94 for Wilson, 91 for Lance, and 90 for Trask. So all these guys, all five of them, are very, very good quarterback options.
Yep.
Just depends on what you want. It's almost kind of like, was it 2017 that Lamar and Fields and
Yeah,
not Lamar and Fields, Lamar and
2017.
Rosen and Baker and Darnold came out?
18.
Okay, this almost reminds
Oh
me.
yeah, it was 18.
This almost reminds me kind of that class, that 2018 class, where you have your Allen, your strong arm guy. That'd probably be, I guess, the closest one would be Lance. You have your more mobile, athletic type of guy. I guess the probably closest one for that would be Wilson. You have your more accurate type of pocket passing type of guy. I think the closest would be Trask, but I trust Trask a lot more than I did Rosen. Uh, Lawrence is kind of like your. Well, I guess Baker would probably be closer to Trask. Uh, and then Lawrence is kind of like that clear-cut top guy. And then who would be the Fields
There
of
was
that
no
class?
clear-cut top guy back then.
Yeah. Like,
Lawrence is
Darnold.
Lawrence is
Darnold-
in a class unto himself.
Donald wasn't the clear number one guy though.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like Lawrence more than I did Darnold anyway.
I
sure
was a
hope so.
Baker guy, and there was Rosen guys, Allen, Lamar, whoever the hell else was there, Donald, Baker. Yeah, I mean, there was no clear cut guy there. And here, I'm pretty sure, with a couple of outliers, Lawrence is the unanimous number one pick.
Yes.
Well, I hope there's not too many outliers. Unless someone's trying to project like some sort of wackiness, I couldn't even tell you.
Houdini.
Maybe someone's just trying to think some off the field issue. I have no idea, but
Did someone not show up? Did his teammates not show up to his birthday party?
yeah, I mean it's really hard to say based on what we know in December that anything could possibly. I mean, hypothetically, he could get hurt. Hypothetically, Twitter or something could show up. Hypothetically, something bad would. I'm not going to bank on that happening, especially based on what we know about Lawrence's character from right now.
Yeah.
If anything, it's been more positive. It would help him, and his grades. So, yeah, I'm not really looking for
Even
anything
if he
there.
pulls a Laramie Tunsil, he's not falling out of the first round pick.
Well, I don't
The
think he
first
would fall
overall
out of the top 3 or top 2. I don't think that the Jags would pass on that. Like, regardless of character issue, I think they would take the risk. The
Yeah.
Jets might, based on Johnson or Douglas or whoever, but I don't think the Jets or the Jaguars would. I think they would take the risk. If Lawrence fails his drug test, I think they would still take him number 2. Really. I think the difference is so clear that like, okay, if you want to take Fields over him, then fine, take the risk and be bold
Get fired.
and do your thing and whatever. Like, I wouldn't agree, but if something stupid happens, then fine. I don't think that you can justify taking any of these 3 guys, even with, like, for example, a failed drug test or something stupid, over Lawrence.
Lawrence to me is just very far above everyone else to the point where I can't even imagine the type of thing that would have to come out for him to not go number one.
It would have
So,
to be like some Aaron Hernandez type shit, which is not happening.
He would
Yeah.
have to be. His name would probably have to be found on Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs for him to fall in the first overall pick.
People don't care about that, so
yeah.
That's true.
I can assure you, if the worst thing is that he failed a drug test for weed, nobody cares. Especially with the fact that more and more states are becoming legalized to it,
And
and more
NFL.
and less people care about if somebody smokes weed. I can assure you that would, like, if Laramie Tunsil came out this year, I don't think he would have dropped because of that.
Yeah.
I don't think.
The NFL is not suspending players for
That's true.
weed anymore.
Yep,
So.
under the
Yeah, so I
CBA
don't-
last year.
Yeah, so I think that Tunsil was just kind of screwed over because of the fact that he did. If Laramie Tunsil came out this year, I don't think he drops. So even if he fails a test for weed, I don't think he's going number one. The thing he would have to
Yeah.
do to not go number one, I don't know. He would either have to have some absolutely catastrophic injury, like have to get something amputated, or some horrific off the field something that we have no reason to what would even be jokingly happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going number one. The only question is will he force his way out of New York?
And I don't think he would do that personally, but
I don't
All
think
right.
he would.
we
So, is there any particular coach that you guys would like to see the Jets hire, assuming they fire Gase, that you think would be a good fit with him?
Dable.
Joe Brady.
Brady.
Brian Dable.
Okay, interesting. So, two of the more offensive-minded guys in the league. Definitely something to pay attention to. What about a former experienced head coach that can kind of, I guess, build a culture around him and establish the way of doing things in New York, I guess? For example, a Jim Harbaugh.
In the context of Lawrence, which is the video here, there's no NFL head coach that would make Lawrence bad,
Oh, I'd beg to differ
per
there.
se.
You underestimate the powers of Adam Gase.
Yep.
I still think he's not case. Like, but fair enough. But like, yeah, it's just a situation whereby it's like it's just a no-brainer. You just gotta find the right guy, whether that's Harbaugh. And I think Harbaugh's a good choice for them, or whether it's Brady or one of these other guys.
Devil. Yep.
Dable, yeah.
Arthur Smith, I think, would be very interesting, especially we got to see a lot of those play fakes with Lawrence.
Yep, I mean,
So that he's a guy I like for Detroit personally. I think I have him number 2 in my latest coaching ranking update.
I mean, Arthur Smith runs a similar system to LaFleur, who's obviously the Packers coach, who coaches the pro comparison for us in Aaron Rodgers.
Interesting connection. Okay.
And I mean, this is honestly, as much as it pains me to say, this is probably Aaron Rodgers' best year of his career, and under LaFleur, and I mean, they're easily the best team in the NFC.
So you guys
I
think
wouldn't
that
say easily.
I mean, with Breeze out for the season, I don't really see a team that isn't even close to them.
So you guys think that Dabo Swinney or Tony Elliott would jump, and that the Jets would hire one of those guys in hopes of them keeping that relationship with Trevor Lawrence?
I have no
Elliott
idea.
if I don't think Dabo does, but if Elliott gets the job, he will. But he's the OC. But I very much doubt that Dabo Swinney leaves Clemson.
I saw Tony Elliott on a couple of coaching lists. He's actually on my list as well because he popped up a couple of times. So he's someone that I think is getting quite a bit of hype.
Yeah.
And maybe not necessarily year one for a head coaching job, but like if you were to see, okay, the Jets are going to take T-Law, maybe I could go be their OC.
Yeah.
That's going to get him an NFL head coaching job if that's his ultimate goal. So I think
Right.
that'd be a
Yeah.
pretty good. I think that'd be a pretty good jump for him.
I mean,
guy Matt
if
Campbell, I think would be great there. Obviously, another college head coach. Ryan Day, if he were to ever want to leave for a pro job, this might be a pretty interesting shot to go for him.
I would almost think that he would go to the Jags and coach Justin Fields over that, but
Possibly.
or whatever. But I mean, yeah, I mean, pardon me, Lawrence is going to get fit, no matter what schemes run. Pretty much every coach. So I'm not too concerned about that.
Cool. So anyone else have any final thoughts to wrap this one up?
Nope, I think that's it.
Keelan, Braden?
I don't have
I'm
any
good.
further thoughts.
Braden, you got anything?
No, I'm good.
Nope.
Awesome. Cool. Well, definitely, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, learned a thing or two. Don't forget to like and subscribe along the way for more content like this as we continue to approach the 2021 NFL Draft. Lots of time left for sure, specifically for us as Lions fans. I think everyone in here at least somewhat roots for the team. So hopefully we'll be able to get some coaching rumors and GM talk for you guys as we continue to approach the off season. We'll probably end up doing some playoff discussions and stuff like that as well over the course of the next month or so, and going over some of the playoff teams and playoff games and doing some mocks and everything like that. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining us, all three of you guys who were able to make it for this one. I think this is the first time we've actually had a 4-person video on the channel. Well, except for like our big time like group discussions in terms of breakdowns. So really nice to get some varying opinions on this, and it seems like we all kind of agree for the most part, with the exception of Brain being a little bit higher than the rest of us on him in general. But definitely nice to hear some different thoughts and different takes, and noticing some different things along the way as well. So, with that being said, hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. But for now, peace out.